There are people who smile all day and appear completely normal, but inside they are mentally exhausted. A notification changes their mood. One insult ruins their confidence. One rejection destroys their peace. Slowly, they lose control over their own mind. Machiavelli understood something dangerous about human nature. The moment people realize your emotions are easy to control, they begin influencing your decisions and reactions. If your happiness depends on validation, you become controllable. If your emotions depend on other people, you become predictable. And predictable people are easy to manipulate. Most manipulation does not look like manipulation. Toxic people provoke emotionally, seek reactions, and slowly drain your mental energy. They feed on emotional responses because reactions give them power. The moment you stop reacting emotionally, manipulative people lose control over your mind. The world today is full of distractions designed to destroy inner peace. Social media trains people to seek validation. Relationships become emotional power struggles. But peace is not weakness. Peace is emotional mastery. In this video, you will learn the 7 dark laws that protect your mind and inner peace in a manipulative world. Because once you master emotional control, the world loses its ability to control you. Law 1. Never react immediately. Most people destroy their own peace because they react too fast emotionally. One insult changes their mood. One disrespectful comment controls their entire day. Someone ignores them, and suddenly they become angry, insecure, or desperate for validation. This is how emotional manipulation works. The moment another person controls your emotions, they gain control over your mind. Emotional people become predictable, and predictable people are easy to manipulate. Machiavelli understood that emotional reactions expose weakness. When someone provokes you, they are testing your emotional control. Most people fail immediately. They react impulsively, defend themselves emotionally, and lose power in the process. Because a person who cannot control his emotions eventually becomes controlled by others. Calmness creates psychological pressure. When someone expects anger from you, but receives silence instead, uncertainty begins inside their mind. Humans fear what they cannot predict. This is why calm individuals often appear more powerful than loud, aggressive people. They react less, observe more, and stay emotionally disciplined. Toxic people depend on emotional reactions. They provoke arguments and create drama because reactions give them control. But the moment you stop reacting impulsively, manipulative people lose influence over your mind. Listen, a man who reacts emotionally can be controlled. A man who remains calm becomes difficult to defeat. Law 2. Speak less than necessary. Most people reveal too much about themselves. They explain every emotion, share every opinion, and expose every weakness without realizing that information gives people psychological access to their mind. The more predictable you become, the easier you are to control. When people know exactly what makes you angry, insecure, emotional, or desperate, they learn how to manipulate your behavior silently. This is why oversharing destroys mystery, and mystery is one of the strongest forms of psychological power. Machiavelli understood that people fear what they cannot fully understand. A person who speaks less, reveals less, and observes more naturally creates uncertainty around himself, and uncertainty creates authority. Humans are psychologically drawn toward mysterious individuals because the mind automatically tries to analyze what it cannot read completely. This is why quiet people often appear more intelligent, dangerous, and emotionally powerful than loud people constantly seeking attention. Most people talk too much because they want validation. They explain themselves constantly because they fear misunderstanding or rejection. But powerful people understand that not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every emotion needs to be shown. The less emotionally available you become, the harder it becomes for others to control your mental state. In real life, this happens everywhere. One person enters a room talking non-stop, trying to impress everyone. Another person stays calm, speaks slowly, and observes quietly. Most people unconsciously become more curious about the quieter individual. Why? Because silence creates psychological tension. Humans respect what they cannot fully predict. Listen, a person who reveals everything loses control. A person who remains unreadable creates power. Law 3. Detach from the need for validation. Your attention is one of the most valuable psychological assets you have. Whatever receives your attention gains influence over your emotions, thoughts, and mental energy. Most people waste this power daily without realizing it. They give attention to drama, toxic people, meaningless arguments, social media validation, and emotional negativity. Slowly, these distractions begin controlling their mood and destroying their inner peace. Because where attention goes, emotional energy follows. Machiavelli understood that controlling attention means controlling people. Manipulative individuals know exactly how to steal emotional focus. They provoke reactions, create conflict, seek validation, and manufacture drama because attention gives them psychological power. The more emotionally invested you become in their behavior, the more control they gain over your mind. This is why toxic people constantly seek reactions. Your anger, frustration, and emotional responses feed their influence. Powerful people understand strategic detachment. They do not react to everything. They do not fight every battle. They protect their attention carefully because they know attention is mental currency. Sometimes ignoring someone completely becomes more powerful than attacking them directly. Silence and emotional distance create psychological discomfort in manipulative people because they suddenly lose access to your energy. This happens constantly in real life. A toxic person sends passive-aggressive messages, hoping for an emotional response. Most people react instantly and get pulled into unnecessary conflict, but emotionally disciplined individuals respond calmly, briefly, or sometimes not at all, and suddenly the manipulator loses power because the emotional connection weakens. Listen, the person who controls your attention controls your emotions. The person who protects their attention protects their peace. 4. Master the art of disappearing long. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. The moment a conversation becomes quiet, they rush to fill the emptiness with unnecessary words, explanations, and secrets. But silence creates pressure, and weak minds try to escape that pressure by talking too much. This is why intelligent people often stay quiet longer. They understand that silence is not emptiness, it is psychological control. Machiavelli understood that people reveal themselves naturally when given enough silence. A person trying too hard to impress you will eventually expose insecurity. A liar will often keep speaking until contradictions appear. An angry person will expose weakness through impulsive words. But the silent observer learns everything without revealing much about himself. Silence gives you information while protecting your own position. Most people think power comes from speaking loudly or dominating conversations. In reality, constant talking often signals nervousness and the need for validation. Calm silence creates mystery and pressure at the same time. Humans naturally become uncomfortable when they cannot read someone completely. This is why silent individuals often appear more dangerous and mentally stronger than people constantly explaining themselves. This happens constantly in real life. During arguments, negotiations, or tense situations, one person keeps talking emotionally, while the other remains calm and quiet. Slowly, the silent person gains psychological control because the other side begins revealing more than they intended. The quieter individual appears more confident simply because he is harder to read. Toxic people also fear silence because silence removes attention from them. Manipulative individuals survive on reactions, arguments, and emotional chaos. But when you stop feeding them words and energy, their influence weakens quickly. Listen, a person who talks too much reveals weakness. A person who masters silence controls the room. 5. Control your face. Control the room. Most people lose control over their life because they become too attached. Attached to attention, relationships, approval, outcomes, and the opinions of others. The more emotionally dependent you become on something, the more power it gains over your mind. Fear of losing creates weakness, and weakness makes manipulation easier. This is why desperate people are often controlled the most. They tolerate disrespect, chase validation, and sacrifice peace just to avoid losing someone or something. Machiavelli understood that attachment clouds judgment. A person who fears losing approval becomes easy to pressure. A person desperate for love becomes easy to manipulate. A person addicted to validation slowly loses independence. Powerful individuals think differently. They value people and opportunities, but they never allow emotional dependence to control their decisions. Because the moment your peace depends completely on something external, your freedom disappears. Detachment does not mean becoming cold or heartless. It means remaining mentally stable even when situations change. Calm people understand that everything in life can change suddenly: relationships, loyalty, success, and status. Instead of panicking, they maintain control over themselves. This creates psychological strength because detached individuals become difficult to pressure emotionally. This happens constantly in real life. In relationships, the person who fears losing the other usually loses power first. In business, the desperate negotiator accepts bad deals. In friendships, people seeking constant approval slowly lose respect. Neediness silently destroys authority because desperation is always visible. Manipulative people also search for emotional dependency. The moment they realize your happiness depends on them, they gain influence over your decisions and behavior. But when you remain calm, independent, and mentally detached, their control weakens immediately. A person controlled by attachment loses freedom. Is a person who masters detachment becomes powerful. Law 6. Let people underestimate you. Most people lose themselves trying to be liked by everyone. They change their personality, hide their real thoughts, and constantly seek approval from others. But the more validation you seek, the weaker you appear psychologically. Because needing constant approval gives other people control over your confidence. The moment your self-worth depends on outside opinions, your peace becomes fragile. Machiavelli understood that people naturally respect individuals who do not desperately seek attention or approval. Someone constantly trying to impress others appears insecure. They explain themselves too much, fear criticism, and adjust their behavior just to avoid rejection. But powerful individuals think differently. They understand that respect is earned through self-control and confidence, not through begging for acceptance. This is why calm and independent people often appear more powerful. They are not controlled by praise or destroyed by criticism. They listen, observe, and continue moving forward without needing approval from every person around them. That mindset creates psychological stability because their confidence comes from within, not from public opinion. This happens constantly in real life. One person posts everything online hoping for validation and attention. Another works silently, improves privately, and speaks less about his achievements. Over time, the quieter individual often gains more respect because confidence without desperation naturally attracts attention. Manipulative people also use validation as control. They give approval when you obey and remove it when you resist. This creates dependency. Many people become trapped trying to earn acceptance from people who never truly respected them in the first place. The moment you stop needing approval from everyone, you become mentally stronger, because people can only control the person, still desperate to be accepted. A man addicted to validation loses himself. A man who validates himself becomes difficult to control.